ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download.
Excuse me, Mr. DJ.
Hey, check this out. We got a great show coming your way.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, the #1 sports information program in America, The Breakfast Bankroll, with your host, the sports broker, Jeff Dawson.
Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and we are blessed, honored to have this young gentleman making his ECSI debut, Mr. Drew Hirschman. If you don't know the name, we know in these lanes, a dollar in a dream, or in the poker world, the chip in a chair. How about $13 to $270,000? Now it's starting to click in. Remember OKC, Edmonton Oilers? This gentleman here is going to bring us back to that journey. And what a journey it was. It was so fun to follow. The highs, the lows, the agony, the wins, but we took it blow to blow, and now this gentleman is here to tell and relive that story, as our headliner is Reliving the Dream with Drew. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy. First and foremost, a shout out to our proud sponsors and partnerships. It's WagerWire. Head on over to Google Play, download the app. It is free. Travis, Guy, Zach, myself, Amber Hawley, Carol Brooks, Drew himself. We're going to take good care of you. Just download that app. We're going to have an amazing football season with you. AtlantaSteaksAndSeafood.com. Head on over to Facebook. Introduce yourself to Terry Smith. And then come on back to AtlantaSteaksAndSeafood.com. Use the promo code STEAKS10. Get 10% off your full order. So without further ado, Mr. Drew Hirschman. What's up, Drew?
How you doing, Jeff? Excited to be here.
We are super stoked to have you here. A lot to cover here. Before we get to the parlay, before we get to the big story that was played in a lot of big-time spots in the world here, take us to Drew. Give us a background of Drew himself.
Yeah, I mean, before all this started, I was just a college student. I was a senior, ready to graduate. And then my life kind of changed. Went through this whole process, graduated school, computer engineering. And I find myself here, no other place than WagerWire. So I'm now in the betting and gambling world, and I'm excited for what comes next.
So the gambling world, okay, ECSI launched in 2015. We're in our 10th year of public service. We were light years ahead of 99.9% of the world here. We envisioned PASPA eventually being passed, which it did in 18, and then each state would be given the opportunity, if they wanted, to offer sports wagering and legalize it in the states. Well, of course, DraftKings and FanDuel was also light years ahead of people in the daily fantasy. But their real vision was to get into the sports books, which they both have dominated the market. Before the sports books, the legalization, I assume you were a daily fantasy player or not?
Yeah, I mean, I was playing fantasy all the time, but I live in New York and right on the border of New Jersey, so I really got it on the very early end of the gambling. So I mean, I was young, but I'd have like my parents or like an older friend head to New Jersey, throwing a bet for me, something like that. But of
It,
course, started on fantasy.
well, it was funny because before New York got into the swing of this, the biggest state other than Vegas initially was New Jersey, and the stories I would read is literally people would just get on the bus, and the bus would take them from New York City over to the New Jersey border, and then you open up your app, you place your bet, you stay on the bus, and you come back to New York.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on. I live actually 5-10 minutes drive from Jersey, so I would just get in the car, hang out in the back seat with a couple friends, throw something together. Different time though.
Yeah, the world has changed, of course. So I'm gonna let me see here. I'm gonna play a little producer here. Bear with me here, Drew. We're gonna bring up the ticket here. We're gonna go right to hyperspace here with everyone here.
Let's do it.
Let's find your ticket here. Here's the story. Let me see here. Share. Bear with me here. That's the story. No, here we go. All right. I'm going to enlarge it for everyone here. All right, here's the ticket itself. And $13. That's what it was. It was $13 play. And here we go. Dodgers, Liberty, Eagles. So take us through, before we get to the meat and potatoes here, Edmonton and OK City. A $13 bet. $270,000. So how'd you come up with this ticket?
Yeah, so I always like to say I started with the Eagles. I got the message Saquon signing with the Eagles, and I was a Giants fan, or I am a Giants fan, and I thought that was unbelievable. I know they're a great football team. I know what kind of player Saquon is, and when I saw he was joining the Eagles, I said, "There's absolutely no way this team isn't going to make a deep run." Craziest part was they were 17-1. I don't know how you get those odds. I mean, they really dominated all year. So I started with the Eagles. It was also right around baseball time. I was in New York City. I wanted to put something with MLB, and in my heart of hearts, I wanted the Yankees. I'm wearing the Yankees cap right now. But I got to be true to what my heart felt, and that was the Dodgers. I thought they were a really good squad. To be honest, with the Liberty, it was kind of one of those. I want the payout to be a little higher, so I sprinkled in a favorite. I really didn't know much about it, but I got lucky. They won in 5 and a nail biter, and the rest is history.
All right, so the Dodgers. You're a Yankee fan,
Yeah.
all right? So we're sitting back in late October. Drew's got this big ticket, but I mean, we're just in the embryo stages here. I think a lot of people forget this. I'll just say this out loud, especially for you being a Yankee fan. If Judge doesn't drop that ball, the Yankees win the World Series. You do know that, right?
Yeah, just it's a crazy series of events. I mean, you look at a parlay like this, like everything has to go right or everything has to go wrong. And in that case, everything kind of went wrong, and it worked out for me.
That drop right there opened the floodgates. The Dodgers go on to win that game, come back home. Thanks for playing.
Yep.
So you got one in the book. Philly, actually, let me see here. Yeah, 129. So your first win here was the Liberty, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so the Liberty win. Okay, now we're through the Dodgers. So now you're getting through here to the Eagles. Eagles versus Kansas City. When you got to the Super Bowl, did you have any money on the Kansas City side at that point, or were you just very confident in the Eagles?
I was really confident in the Eagles, but I did have money on the Chiefs. I threw in a couple parlays when I had first made this, and one of them happened to be Liberty, Dodgers, Chiefs. So there was other possibilities where, no matter what, I was coming out with, I was still alive. But this was the biggest payout, so this was really the one that I was praying for. However, like I said, I'm a Giants fan. Watching the Eagles win a Super Bowl, not the greatest, but hey, you got to keep your gambling separate from your favorite teams.
Well, and the fact that you're a Giant fan and the Saquon's on the Eagles, at least that helps a little, didn't it?
A little bit, sometimes you feel betrayal from guys like that. Saquon's like the nicest guy, and he's such a great football player. And regardless of if he's on the Giants anymore, you got to respect him as a football player.
All right, now we get to the big two. Now this is where the fun really begins. And listen, OKC, a huge prohibitive favorite. So I understood everything you were going through because I had a lot of people go to me and ask me about your ticket specifically. What would you do if you were Drew? And the hardest part about your ticket was the fact that OKC was such a big favorite. You really just had to focus, I thought, on the Panthers and Edmonton. Was that the thought process?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, nothing's ever a lock, but you're sitting there looking at your ticket saying the OKC is so strong. Doesn't really matter what goes on with that. We just got to hope that hockey's kind of a coin flip every year. You got to hope that we make a deep run and we can, finish it out. But it wasn't exactly that smooth, I will say.
All right. So now we got both. It was funny. NBA one night, NHL another night. NBA, we saw the highs, we saw the lows. So give us the thought process right now. You had a possible cash out, which we know because we work with WagerWire. We know what the cash out is and what the real value is. Go to wagerwire.com/calculator. You can see the true odds here. So we're going to get up to these two championship games, Drew.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
All right. So I've been using that cash out calculator since the Super Bowl. Every single time we'd win a game or, something would change with an injury, whatever it might be, I'd check it out and compare it to my cash out. And back at the Super Bowl, it was around 50% of the fair value. As it went on, it approached closer to 80. But the whole time, it felt like I was leaving money on the table, like I was getting scammed or something. I knew that was never the option. So the whole way, I had to make decisions. What's best for me? And I came down to hedging. I thought it made the most sense. It guaranteed me the most money. It gave me the opportunity to see the ticket through, and that's what I wanted to do. And that led me all the way to the finals.
So you're with the finals. We were following you, DraftKings shipping you here, there, everywhere. Your fan base blew up. Dad came in. You got a great dad, obviously. Dad's in your corner. Dad wants to see you succeed. Going back and forth with you and your dad, what'd you come up with?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely in my corner. Shout out to my pops. He's a really smart guy. He's an actuary. He knows everything you could know about math. We sat down. We went through every possible strategy. We came down with a 3 parlay strategy. So it's just the 3 remaining possibilities of who could have won. And we tinkered with it on Excel. There was a couple versions, one where no matter what, you win the same payout. We decided on one where, the bottom end is a good amount of money. It was around 79,000. And then if the original ticket hits, it's 150, which we thought was a little more fun. Obviously, we're not going to settle for less than a certain amount. We obviously want to make a bunch, but it's a gamble and we want to have fun. And we were at the games and it felt like a once in a lifetime opportunity. We wanted to ride it out a little bit.
So you're going to OKC. You hug it out with Trent. He's rooting for OKC. You're rooting for OKC. That was amazing. And then the hockey games, the trip to. I hate to go there. Bring it back there. Give us the thought process and the feel. Take us to the Florida events and the hockey games.
Absolutely. So it was a great time. Don't get me wrong. The arena was electric. I'd never been to a Cup game before. I was there with my dad, my brother-in-law. Can't ask for more. The worst part about it, I probably cheered in the 2 games for a total of 1 minute and 20 seconds. I mean, the 2 games I went to, we got blown out. I don't know if I'm a mush. I don't know what it was. I've watched every game of that series other than those 2 were the most competitive games you've ever seen. the overtime, the double overtime. You couldn't have asked for more exciting games. And I went to the two blowouts. A minute and 20 seconds. It was absolutely brutal. The drive home, I didn't want anyone talking to me. Amazing experience. Horrible, horrible games.
You know, I before you were born, I actually went to the Bruins Stanley Cup games against Edmonton when they had Gretzky, Grant Fuhrer. This was a million years ago. I was actually at Game 3 when they lost, so they were down 0-3, and then the next game they couldn't play the game. It was too warm in Boston. It was the fog out game, and they were trying for 45 minutes skating around. They couldn't clear the fog. So they ended up letting them go back to Edmonton and get swept there anyway. So it must be the Edmonton Oilers thing here. All right, so the dream is over.
Yeah.
Okay, but the experience, the surreal moments, that will never be replaced. So let's take a look back and now life after the ticket. What have you been up to?
So the dream is dead. That's for sure. It didn't end sadly. I still came out with a bunch of money, and more importantly, and what I'm really excited for in the future was a job with WagerWire. I sat in on an interview with them in the New York Post, and they sat in with me while I did the interview with the Post. And at the end of it, they said, "Hey, like, you think you're a smart kid? You got a good head on your shoulders. You think you maybe want to work for us?" And here I am today. And I've had a great time. I've been here for a month. I'm learning a lot. I'm trying to make my way up, and we'll see where that takes me.
Well, again, the gambling world, as we like to use the investing world, is just warming up. We're getting into the football season, actually the Hall of Fame game today. So football officially begins today, the preseason. Moving forward, going back to that experience, is it now just spanning the globe, looking at tickets, looking at futures, and here we'll put 10 here, 13 here. How does Drew move forward as we're getting ready for football season?
Yeah, I mean, I think my strategy's changed a little bit. Back then, it was more of just throw it up and pray. Still have a couple of those. I threw in one that was the exact same parlay as last year, 13 to win 21K this time, but just for fun, the back-to-back parlay. But yeah, no, I want to be a little more methodical with it. I've realized a lot of stuff while I was going through the process of what's a good strategy and what can get you to the end. Placing two of the same parlay is an interesting one, where you have the opportunity to cash out early and then you could ride the other one. I find that interesting. That along with like placing your heavier legs early, getting them out the way, and then having being able to ride the favorites to the end, and that feels like a lot safer and stronger way to go.
Any regrets?
Not really at all. I think maybe the way that I handled the media. I think when I was making these videos, I felt like I was like fighting against people, but in reality, everyone wanted to see you win until you kind of have that attitude. So I'll say that I think that I could have presented myself a little differently. On the other end, when it comes to the actual parlay, trying to get a payout, I couldn't have done it any better. Obviously, I didn't get the highest payout possible, but people talk about cashing out, and I just want to let it be known. I think the cash out's always the wrong move. At the point where I was, my money was locked in. I hedged. I couldn't have cashed out anymore, and I got to just enjoy it for what it was. Everything that I got on top of it, the planes, the tickets, the experience, was worth more than the ticket itself.
No, and you're spot on. And again, another bonus and plus for WagerWire, another shout out to them, is they actually have a marketplace where you can sell, try to sell bits and shares. The long-term goal with Zach and Travis, obviously, is to have their actual app, I want to say it, but they have their platform in these sports books, so we can turn this into like a stock exchange where hey, I got a ticket, here's the value, I want to ride this out, but I'll sell you 5, 10, 15, 20%, so I'm in the plus and we can ride it out together.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I joined WagerWire. Obviously, they gave me a good offer, but I also believed in their mission. I'd been using their calculator for so long. They're really just for the better and the betting community. All the sports books, they're evil, but WagerWire, they take care of the people. They give you opportunities that you wouldn't have otherwise. You can have something in between the cash out and the fair value, and that's probably going to be the best offer you're going to get anywhere.
Well, before we let you leave, and again, this, as I announced, is your debut. This platform, this stage, we hope to have you on a bazillion times with some new tickets, some wager wire talks and thoughts, and maybe you and I can start doing some stuff once the football season comes along. Or my next question to you, I'm a Red Sox fan. I know we're not going to do anything at the deadline. We picked up Steven Matz. What do you think of your Yankees, the Judge injury, and your thoughts moving forward? Are you going to catch the Jays? Or are you making the playoffs?
It's a tough call here. I always think that the Yankees they go the distance, but I'm not so confident in them this year. I know there's that $1 million ticket that's posted on WagerWire right now, and they need them to go to the AL championship. I think that's the most likely. I don't see them winning it this year.
The good friend, Mr. Zach Doctor himself, honored to have you on the squad, Drew.
Thank you, Zach.
All right, now the $1 million question, because I got my ideas.
Yep.
Giants. You bring in Russell Wilson. You bring in Jameis.
Yep.
You draft Jackson Dart. Mr. Dart there, excuse me, from Ole Miss. Now you have Malik Neighbors. My thought process, very simply, is you're in a tough division. You're going to have the Dallas, maybe in a bounce back spot. You got the Eagles, of course, Super Bowl champs, and now you got this Washington team that everyone wants to put at the top of the heap. And no disrespect to Jaden Daniels, I love him to death. But there was a guy named RG3 that did kind of the same thing and then fell off the map year two. I don't expect that. But my point is, here's my vision for the Giants. I like your defense. I think you get stronger. I think Russell is just going to hold the toe for the first 6 to 8 games. If you start slow, I think then you go to Mr. Dart. What's your feelings for the Giants this year?
Yeah, I totally agree with the Russell to Dart situation. So, I mean, they're in the hardest division, in my opinion. They have the hardest schedule, or one of the hardest schedules in the NFL. This is not their year. I mean, it was never their year, but they don't have a shot. I think the best thing they could do, like you said, get Dart going, get that defense rolling, really get this team gelling together, because they're going to get a good draft pick, and they're going to be stronger than they actually appear. And so I think going into next season, that's when we really have to start changing this football team and really taking the strides to become a playoff team again. And we're going to have tough competition. They say, what is it, iron sharpens iron? Let's get a little stronger like that.
I love it. Listen, your Giants beat the Patriots not once but twice. And you got a ferocious defense. I remember the Lawrence Taylor days back in the day. Your defense is heading in that direction. Drew, we can't thank you enough. I don't have an @X, but I do know you're on Instagram. Where else can people follow you? Just on Instagram right now?
Yeah, and I just made a TikTok. It's called WagerWire Drew. I'm going to start posting some stuff, some WagerWire content. You can check me out there.
All right, Drew Hirschman, go follow him on Instagram, on TikTok. Amazing, amazing story. Go follow that. Pull it up on the New York Post itself. Next, Matthew George, quick commercial break, and we will be right back. Stay tuned. ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
Jared, hey, we're gonna need you to tone it down with the Summer Friday thing, okay?
What are you talking about?
Well, for one, it's not summer anymore.
Oh, really?
Coconut. Also, who is this?
I'm the caddy.
Oh, he's my intern.
Sorry, intern. I'm his intern.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
No golfing in the office, okay? Summer Fridays are over. You can keep the Hawaiian shirt, but the rest of this stuff, all right? Are you grilling?
Oh, yeah. Did you want a burger or a hot dog?
No, grilling in the office.
That's a good point. We should take this outside.
No, that don't. You put that right back down.
Yo, it's all in the hips.
Oh, dude, come on, we gotta go. Let's go.
Oh, here we go. We're coming back. I promise. Drew Hirschman, go check him out. What a story. Oh, my God. $13 into almost 270 large. But he profited. That's all that matters. That's what we do here. So without further ado, let's bring in the next star of the show, Mr. Matthew George. What's up, sir?
Good morning, Jeff. How are we doing?
We're doing well. Excuse me. Trade deadline. You're a Yankee fan. I handed you a clipboard and says, I'll allow you to make one move. What are you doing?
I mean, you got to find the best players that actually fit your team and actually fit the positions that they need. So with the Yankees, it is seeming like that it's panning out for them so far. They did get some good move and get some good players out of it. So the best one I think so far, and then people have been screaming about it so far, has been Ryan McMahon, who's been absolutely stellar both on the offensive side and in the defensive side. The defensive side, the team definitely needed because they needed someone on the third base because they tried so many players on that side of the ball, on that side of the field. So it's a very good acquisition. They needed a positionless player, so he could play anywhere. He could play shortstop. He could play third base. Anywhere on the field, in the infield, he can play. So that's a great acquisition. And they also got a Men Rosario who plays third base, so he could probably solidify himself in there. He's a good contact hitter who can definitely shoot for power as well. And then obviously the latest acquisition is Austin Salter because Aaron Judge is on the 10-day IL with that flexor strain, so definitely just want to keep him out of the lineup for now. Obviously, with flexor strains, usually with pitchers, it leads to Tommy John surgery, so just be careful of that. So with outfielders, it can be a little bit, you can have a little leeway with some of these players, just like Aaron Judge. So it's a good thing that they have some addition to the outfield as well. So we'll see how everything goes with the rest of the season for the Yankees. But it's seeming pretty decent so far. It's not looking hopeful, but we'll see how it goes for the rest of the season.
Well, that was my follow-up is I know the Red Sox ain't going to do anything. Listen, if I was the GM, I would get cute. I would go get the Mason Miller closer from Oakland. I would give up whatever it took to get him. Now I have Chapman, Whitlock, and Miller back there. And I have now just said to my starters, can you get me through 4, 5, 5.5, 5 1/3?
Well, let me interrupt you there, sadly, because Mason Miller has actually been acquired by the Padres, along with JP Sears from the Athletics. So that sadly that ship has sailed for the Yankees in that kind of situation. You did call it, but the wrong team.
See, that's why I should be that was my guy months ago. I'm like, you got to get creative. And the same thing with Helsley getting moved from the Cardinals. You have to extend the back end. It's not, listen, I'm not overpaying for Alcantara. I'm not overpaying for these, excuse my French here, shit bums or rentals. I don't need them. If you got Alcantara, I'd be more happy for next year. Crochet and Alcantara. You, Garrett Cole and Alcantara. You got Rodon. You got Fried. Okay, I get that part. Mason Miller was the guy there. Helsley was the guy there. So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give you Biff's Almanac right now, Matthew. A, do you catch the Jays? B, do you make the playoffs?
I'm hoping, in my opinion, I hope they're making the playoffs. In retrospect, it's seeming like the Yankees still need pitching. That's the biggest thing that's been I mean, throughout the years that they've been trying to figure out. Luis Hill seeming to be in the right direction in terms of the starting line, in terms of the starting rotation. He's doing pretty decently in terms of the minor leagues. So hopefully he comes back and comes back in full force, because he was definitely the AL Rookie of the Year in his rookie season. So we're hoping to have him. Here's hoping that the team has him back. And then the other thing is the relief pitching has just been all over the place. Like, they need to close out games, and sometimes it's either Devin Williams sadly keeps messing up opportunities for the Yankees to win, and also because this pitching needs some kind of support, and where is that going to be? Nobody knows as of yet, but we'll see what happens if they make any moves before the trade deadline. Other than that, hopefully they actually go into the wild card race, because that's where they stand right now.
Yeah, we talked about Aaron Judge 10-day DL with the right flexor strain. Yankees trade deadline, Slater, McMahon, and Ahmad Rosario. Let's dig into what's the future hold for Kuminga and the Warriors.
So it's seeming very wish-washy with the Warriors and Jonathan Kuminga, because he declined a 2-year, $45 million contract to return with the Warriors. So there's no timetable for him to, either sign with the team or go with another team as well. Because when Coach and I did the podcast yesterday, it got released today. There were 3 players, including Jonathan Kuminga, that they felt that they were worth over $30 million. That is himself. That is Jonathan Kuminga, and Josh Giddey, and I believe there was one other player as well. I don't believe, in my opinion, that Jonathan Kuminga is worth $30 million. Although he did win a championship with the Warriors, the issue is that he's been very inconsistent throughout the years, especially last season. Steve Kerr put him back in the bench, and back in the starting lineup, then back in the bench again. It's just been a mixed bag of nuts of where he's gonna fit in this team. So you need to find the best value for him to either trade him or sign him for the next 2 years. He's a good cornerstone. He is a good piece for the Warriors. It's just a matter of, can he mesh together? Obviously, because Steph Curry is still going to be with this team. He is the main guy until he decides to retire. So it's just a matter of how he can fit with this Warriors offense. He's a high flying and good and decent shooter when it comes down to it. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, the Warriors should just let him walk. And so trying to defeat this whole, back and forth situation and for him to get signed for the next 2 years. I don't believe he's worth that kind of money. So we'll see what happens. But the problem is that the Warriors has barely made any moves this offseason. So what's going on with the Warriors? No one knows. They've been basically just underachieved in terms of the offseason. So what happens there? I have no clue.
Bulls extend Billy Donovan multi-year extension. There goes my. I've been telling Billy, you made the wrong mistake. Get back into college. I think the college coaching has also gotten a little. It's not what it used to be. Obviously, because of the NIL, of the transfer portal, it wasn't. I recruited you, Matthew, since you were in 8th and 9th grade. I expect you to come to my university. I want you to stay 4 years, but at least stay 3, the one and dones and all. And there's no loyalty. Hey, you promised me all this playing time. You promised me all this money. You didn't produce. I'm leaving after 1 year. And so much wasted effort. Billy can lose with the best of them and still get a raise and an extension.
I guess because, and what the thought process probably there is that they're trying to develop like a lot of these young players on the Bulls, especially their recent player in last year's draft in Montez Brazales. So it's going to be a very interesting way that the Bulls could solidify themselves in the league. Obviously, probably not one of the top teams in the league, but that means that Billy Donovan is a very experienced coach. He definitely can lead teams to better wins and whatnot. It's just a matter of how this team can actually mesh together. Because the way that Billy Donovan came into the Bulls was like, okay, we have these decent players, you have these aging star players. You had DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, and Lonzo Ball, who also got hurt. So it was a lot of things to juggle with. Billy Donovan had to do a lot with the Bulls. Now, there was one time that he actually made the playoffs, but barely made any scratches. So they got eliminated in the first round. So it's just a matter of how the young players can actually mesh together. Obviously with this young core right now, and then we'll see what happens with Billy Donovan. Who knows? Maybe next year he'll probably be out because Bulls could probably be one of the worst teams in the league. But you might never know. But I don't think that's going to be the case.
Liberty star Brianna Stewart, Stewie, out with a bone bruise in her right knee, and Valkyrie star Kayla Thornton out for the rest of the season with knee surgery.
Yeah, it's tough break for both these teams. So Brianna Stewart is going to be out. There's no timetable for her return as of yet with her right knee bone bruise. So it's gonna be a very interesting way that the markets will move in terms of the championship, because now the Liberty are plus 160 to win the championship for the WNBA. So it's a very interesting times for the Liberty, because going forward, because now they don't have their star. Sabrina Ionescu has to step up. They have Jonquil Jones, and Jonquil Jones is doing her thing, but now they have some new acquisitions that they're coming onto the floor as well. So we'll see how everything comes together, and then when Brianna Stewart comes back, then they could really make a push for the playoffs. Obviously, they're sitting basically in the driver's seat with the Minnesota Lynx right now, but it does seem to take a toll on how much of an impact that their star player in Brianna Stewart does actually help on the floor, because she definitely helps that both on the defense and offensive end. For Kayla Thornton, I mean, what a story it's been for the Golden State Valkyries as a whole. It does blow to see that their star player, who's been absolutely stellar for this new franchise this season, has to go down with a knee injury during practice. Not even just during a game, during practice, which really sucks. So we'll see how the rest of the season goes for Golden State. It did actually win. They actually did win against the Atlanta Dream not too long ago this week. So they're getting wins without their star player. But now it's just like how they can do. They could do it the rest of the season. It's seeming unlikely. They could go over. They still have a chance to go over their win total. Last time we checked in, when Coach and I did the podcast, was around 17, 18 and a half. We could still get there. They're at 13 wins right now. So we'll see how that goes. And the season is really coming forward, and we'll see how these teams meshed up together, especially the Golden State Valkyries.
WNBA one game tonight, Golden State at Washington. Let me pull up the full game. I had the halftime numbers up there. Overnight, let me see here. Washington was 3.5, now 4.5 point favorites over Golden State. A 153.5, now a 154. Thoughts on the one WNBA game tonight?
Yeah, it's. I mean, as I mentioned, they're probably expecting that the Golden State Valkyries to do something. But here's the thing: the Washington Mystics have been a very good story along with the Valkyries this entire season. So the 1-2 punch of Sanaya Citron and Kiki Riafin has been stellar, and that's where we're going with tonight. Obviously, we could always take Brianna Sykes and Brittany Sykes and the other players as well. But these two players, in terms of the rookie season, have been stellar. Especially not to mention their last game, they scored 20. They combined for 48 points. So Nia Citron had 28 points with 5 and 6 from 3, and then Kiki Riafin had a double with 20 points. So they have been stellar, and we're going with the prop market tonight. So we're going with tonight Citron with 15 plus points at plus 150. And then Kiki Riafin with 10 plus rebounds at plus 190. So you can combine this. Last time I got this, it was last night at plus 474. You can obviously the markets have moved as of now because their juice is going to probably come in a lot more to the Valkyries as the day goes along. But the reason why we're going to go with Sinai Citron, obviously that big outburst against Chicago has been the big catalyst of why she's been able to score a lot, and we're taking the 15 plus points. But that's why she can score the ball at will whenever she wants. She can shoot the lights out as well. So we're taking that heavily. We're going to take that a bit juiced over at plus 150, and then Kiki Riafin with 10 plus rebounds. I mean, she's been double machine. She could definitely do that as well. And Kiki Riafin in the last what 4 out of the last 5 games, she's gotten a double, including 10 plus rebounds, and so she's able to do that as well. So we're taking that over. It's over plus 190. Combine that and see how the Mystics do tonight, because I expect them to take the win, even though the Valkyries have been very good. We're taking the Mystics on that side.
3 games on the MLB slate. Tampa Bay is at your New York Yankees. Texas is at Seattle. Atlanta at Cincinnati. What do you have on the diamond?
Well, I think the Yankees would probably expect to take this one today. But we'll see. I didn't take anything in terms of the prop market for that. We're going with the other two games that you did mention, Jeff, and that's the Braves, the Reds, and Rangers, and Seattle. So we're going with the starter tonight for the Reds in Andrew Abbott with over 4.5 strikeouts, because in the last three of the last 4 starts, he's gotten 4 plus Ks, and not to mention in May he actually got in his last start against the Braves, a scoreless outing with 5 innings with 8 strikeouts. So he's definitely got that big experience with the Braves, and obviously, the Braves have just been all over the place this season because they lost so many players. And on the other side, we're going to go with the Texas Rangers and the Mariners. We're going Cal Raleigh. I mean, the biggest star, obviously this season for Seattle and around the American League, to record a hit, because he's got. Before he went 0 for 4 in his last game against the A's, he was on a 9-game hitting streak. So it wouldn't surprise me that he gets a hit. He gets into the docket tonight in terms of the hitting. So he will definitely hit that as well. So you could combine these 2 legs to get a plus 154. So because we tried to find you some good value in terms of the prop markets to try to get you plus money. So obviously these 2 individual plays are heavily juiced, so you could definitely combine these 2, because the trends say that these 2 players have definitely been stepping up as of recently, especially since the Reds have been so far a good team so far. It's obviously a big shoes to fill, because obviously the NL Central is decently stacked, and that the team is around 5 games over 500, and then the same thing goes with the Seattle Mariners. Seattle Mariners have been stepping up as of recently. Their pitching obviously has always been great, but their hitting has just been sliding as of recently. Obviously, Cal Riley is still picking up the slack for that, but let's see how it goes for the rest of the season with the way the Seattle's going, because they could actually solidify themselves into a playoff spot. But that's to be seen as the rest of the season goes.
MLB trade deadline, 6 hours and 16 minutes left. A lot of breaking news to come. Matthew, everyone knows here that they can follow you at MG28 Sports on X. And of course, I was on last night on the Sports Grid. I was on with Mr. Scott Wetzel, and my first time ever with Gabe Morency. And I'm going to tell you something, Matthew. I follow and watch Gabe and Cam and Sports Rage from 10 to midnight for a long time. My good buddy Andrew McGinnis is on Tuesday nights with them. My point is, Gabe Morency, the Sports Rage, versus what I saw yesterday. I was like, I came out in there sweating bullets, and when I was done, I was like, whew, okay, that wasn't that bad.
No, Gabe really does put the intensity towards everyone, and he really he does the analysis, and he does everything. It does everything well, and so far it's going well with Scott Wetzel. So yes, as Jeff mentioned, they do that show every day as of now. As there's a lot of changes being made from the sports grid perspective. They're going to be doing that show every single week, 10 p.m. 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern time with Scott Wetzel as well. He'll be giving a lot of his props as well with his same game parlays, black cows, and all that kind of good stuff as well. And then Coach and James Young does a podcast, and I produce it. It gets released every Tuesday and Thursday. We record Monday and Wednesday, we're covering everything in terms of the college basketball, NBA, and the WNBA obviously as the season goes along. We're doing the futures market for the NBA as we're trickling down towards the beginning of the 25-26 season. We're basically just going over the win totals for in terms of the prop markets. We're doing all the win totals for each of the teams. So both three from the East and three from the West. So that's continuing on as well. And then be sure to tune in as well, and make sure that if you guys missed any of the props that we mentioned today with baseball and the WNBA, make sure, as Jeff mentioned, to follow me on MG28 Sports on X to find out all the props as well. And we're posting out throughout the entire day, so we get some money in your pocket. So hopefully we could get some props hit tonight.
Tomorrow, 11 a.m., we will be back with Sean Alvarez. He's going to talk some Saratoga, some Del Mar. Scotty Webb will also be back either in the morning or afternoon for the Friday night MLB Lights. Until then, we want everyone to behave. Enjoy the MLB trade deadline. Congrats to San Diego. That's the move that I'm looking for, Mason Miller. So we shall see. So for myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, the one and only Mr. Matthew George at MG28 Sports. Big shout out to Drew Hirschman at WagerWire for making his debut, the first of many to come on board. Guys, enjoy yourself. Behave. Stay tuned and see you soon.